Alrighty, folks. So 64 degrees air temperature. I can wave it around if you want. I've seen some people do that before and it doesn't really change anything. But let's stick this in the soil here as deep as we can. Now, no, that is not where I'm going to be grazing, but it's close enough. And I'm sure by now or very soon you will be tired of hearing about when to start grazing because you will have already been grazing. But I wanted to explain a little more on the 100 rule that I just put a video out about and do some more documentation here with my tree. So today is April 8th and I have a list here of all of my temperatures for the past week. So we were at 90 for the 100 rule, 86, 74, 79, well, you get the picture. Last week we were close to the 100 rule, but then you saw we got cool again. We got down to 79, 74 for our 100, for our added daytime high and low. But here's the interesting thing. Next week, we're going to be hitting the 100 rule every day except for April 12th, which that would be Friday, April 12th. So we're going to see our tree still only has a singular bud. There is no difference in that. However, the grasses look like they're growing like crazy. This stuff here is literally just backfill dirt. Like, as you can see, it's just backfill dirt, backfill stone. So this is not good grazing ground right here. But as you see, I'm growing a very nice black cat. It is growing very well in the weeds there. What a goofy thing. Also, this grass is starting to look really good. Again, some of this stuff is underneath of these trees, so our temperatures are going to be a little different because it's not getting full sunlight, even though none of these trees have leaves on them yet. But I wanted to see this week what happens. So obviously, as I showed you my little cheat sheet here of all of the weather, I should have enough round bales to get to 411, 412, maybe even 413. And by then, I want to see what these trees look like. So one thing that I don't know if I elaborated on enough in previous videos, which again, you may not see this one because you may be tired of hearing about a 100 rule, but some folks start grazing in May, June, July, or even August. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, besides the fact that I don't know if you need to wait that long to start grazing. This is April. In a month, it'll be May. And if you follow the advice of some of these experts, they will tell you that now is the perfect time to start grazing because this is still in its perfect vegetative state. You know, a blade of grass like this is in its perfect vegetative state. It's growing the most, it offers the most nutrients and minerals, and then as soon as it gets to something, now this is not grass, but as soon as it gets to something a little more stocky and dense like this, that's when you don't want to graze it. Now, and I only say don't want to, I mean, I still do all the time. Can I graze this thing? Can I graze it? I graze stuff like this all the time and it doesn't affect me, but some folks claim that you're not optimally grazing then. Well, okay, that's fine. Maybe I'm not optimally grazing. But if you wait till May or June, you have a hay field. So you would not be optimally grazing anyways. So that's kind of what I mean, is there's stuff like this out there, folks, where you really don't have to do the optimal thing. You really don't have to do the perfect thing to start grazing or even to graze, period. You know, again, if this is what you got to start, cool. Make this piece of grass, make this clump of grass all over the place. Down here, it'll be more difficult because, again, a lot of it's fill. It's a really high traffic area, as you can see. There's cow trails, so it's harder for me to do stuff like that, but not impossible. However, like I say, folks, you don't have to do that. You can wait until you get 90, 100, 110 degree days. You know, this blade of grass here is a prime example. I think this is poverty grass, but I would graze the cows on this. It's less nutrient dense than this, absolutely it is. But again, do you have to be perfect with your grazing? No. You don't have to be. If you want to wait till May, and here's another great reason why you may need to wait longer than the 100 rule to start grazing. If you wait until May, because your soils are saturated, because your farm is a swampy lowland, and that's when it starts to dry out enough so that your cows don't destroy the environment, there's nothing wrong with that. If you have to wait till June or July time for those exact reasons, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing at all. So why am I telling you that you may want to start grazing sooner? Well, I don't know your situation. So let's check our temperature here of our soil. I'll have to look at it before I pull it out, because as soon as I pull it out, it'll change. I think it says 46 something or other. 46.4 is what I saw before I pulled it out. So again, that's still fairly cold soil temperatures, which is why I do not see more than one bud on this tree. But again, we just went through a bunch of days that were really cold and really wet, and the rain soaking into the ground will help cool it down. But this week, I'm expecting to see this tree explode with buds. I'm expecting to see all these trees go crazy. I'm expecting to see this grass go nuts. You know, I've shown you guys other places on the farm where it looks like I should start grazing right now. But I want to make sure these temperatures stay. If I run out of these round bales in a week, and next week it's all going to be 50 or 75 degrees based on my 100 rule, then obviously I don't want to start grazing yet. Because we're going to get a cold spell, it's going to stunt the growth of the grass, and I'm going to get set back a week. That's something you got to look at too. So, since this week is all going to be over the 100 rule, next week I'm going to check, make sure everything's over the 100 rule, and at that point I may start grazing. Well, anyways, guys, let me wrap up yet another 100 rule video and just say that keep watching, keep experiencing the journey with me. I do these videos primarily for my own documentation because I hate writing things down, and I feel like I can elaborate my thoughts far better in a video than I can in paper format, like writing it all down for a grazing management plan, which maybe I'll go into that in another video, why I don't use one of those. But thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.